Hey, how you guys doing? I'm Alex. Yeah, so I just had a pretty amazing game with the Tiger. Now a lot of people don't like the Tiger, and I will say as far as tier sevens go, the T-29 is a much more modern tank, and it has better armor. It's slower though. I'm gonna say that. Every tank has its Achilles heels, and I'm gonna say that the T-29 is really big and slow, but it's survivable. But I will say this: the Tiger, if used correctly, which you're going to see me use this, I'll talk about tactics in game. The reason why I showed you guys this video, I mean, it's a 7 kill video, so we're going to get 7 kills, and they're solid kills, was because this is the tank that I'm actually closest to getting the second mark of excellence. As you can see, my damage standings are 81.28. Now I've been playing it and then not playing this tank because I just haven't been feeling it, if that makes any sense to you guys. When I'm feeling really accurate, or maybe I'm just motivated to play the Tiger, I play it, and I've slowly been creeping up on the damage standings. As you can see, win the losses, I win more battles with it than I lose. And usually I'll just say, just because of the way the tank is, I know I know it the best out of all my tanks. It's one of my favorites, and I probably won't ever sell it. Um, so let's look at the armor before we start. And so 100 millimeters and then 80 all the way around. That's front, sides, side of the turret. The hatch on it is weak, but it's not as weak as meaning you have to hit it in a good area in order to pin that hatch. But it's hard to hit, I'll just say, because it's actually lower profile than most. For instance, the Tiger P. The turret's also pretty thick, pretty heavily armored, but it does work best if you angle it, like on some of the diagrams. So, yeah, the gun is probably the best thing about the Tiger. Seriously, 203 penetration. That's actually good enough to pin up to tier 9. I've actually pinned some tier 10s. I accidentally played with some friends that were using like tier 9 or tier 8s with this, and I actually did really good in the room because I was able to pin them. I did have to use premium rounds, but anyway, let's go ahead and jump into the gameplay. Alright, so Kralia, at least I think that's what it is, or was it Karalia? It doesn't really matter. You can see it right there. So it's an encounter, and you can see I'm in a 4-man platoon, which is pretty cool. Was just playing with some people, some friends that I occasionally play with, and I decided to go ahead and use my Tiger. Now, like I was explaining to you guys, this is almost has 2 marks on it, which is going to be pretty cool. Now, I'm going to go ahead and give you guys some tactics about this tank. Now, I'm a little rusty with it, but I'm going to go ahead and say that you shouldn't sit back like I'm gonna in this game. The reason why I'm actually gonna sit back and snipe is because there's opportunity for it. Because me not going left or me not going right, fortunately, it saves this game a little bit. The idea here was that the spotter, which is the ELC right there, is gonna go on the cap and force them to basically have to come to us. So a lot of guys are going left, a couple guys are going right. I'm going to sit here and defend the flag, but the main thing is to defend our light tank that's going to force them to basically get a little too close for comfort. Now, that tank right there has a really good field of view stock, so, in position. And so basically what we're doing here is we're baiting these guys, and they're going to start popping out. So I quickly realized that, the guys that we're seeing, I actually can't see them. So I shot that leopard with a really good accurate shot. You're going to see me make some really cheeky shots. I mean, we're talking like shooting like the lips of turrets. And it's probably the most accurate gun in the game for me. It says .34, but it should be .30. But in reality, knowing it's the platform you're shooting off of, if you ask me. It's just such a well-constructed gun platform, if you ask me. They try to keep it historically accurate. Now we got a guy, and he's kind of doing something not very wise, which is he detects these guys on the right side, but they're so much of a match. Nobody's going to do anything. The idea here is to protect our our light tank to force them to do stuff like they're doing right now. Like, this guy does not know, you know, in I think it was at the M4 Sherman. He just doesn't realize it, you know, that he basically played right into it. The idea here is to just let them cap. If you can't get somebody to do it, then you just let them cap. Go ahead and go for survival. It'll be a loss towards you, but it's best to just let them, you know, most of the time it's a trick, you know. If you see a bunch of people on the cap, of course everybody needs to stop what they're doing and kill them because it's a juicy opportunity. But when it's one or two tanks, you're gonna see here, I'm not even letting the reticle shrink down all the way. Now you could say, hey, that's unfair and you should nerf it, but most American tanks are about the same. You know, you can let it, you know, you lose the accuracy. And you'll see here, this guy's gonna disappear, but you do have to move. Once you disappear, you do need to still get out of there. If you're just gonna sit there, you know, I pretty much knew where he was. So I'm pretty aware that there's nobody on the right side, and there's only me and another heavy that's actually a little bit closer. Now you'll notice here that I'm not worried about anything other than the fact that I can use this as a tank destroyer, and you'll see me doing it here, making, you know, crack shots that you usually see. Now I'm gonna say that I'm pretty good with the 88. For instance, when I had this same exact gun on the Toaster, and that's what it's actually called, but it's called like the PSFL, and then there's the Nashorn and so on. It has the same gun. They give you the 88 off of this tank, and it actually is pretty amazing for pinning tanks. To me, it actually pins like maybe like 105, or maybe like a really high velocity 9. But 206 penetration is pretty high up there, especially when you consider that you're going to get 50% on that with premium shells, which, you know, tier 7 lobby, if you are good with this tank, you're not going to need it. You can see even when moving, the reticle is you know, shrunken in. You know, you can make shots, you know, pretty easily on the move with this tank. Now obviously when you get going faster that changes, but 22 miles an hour, this is where it beats the T29 is its speed. You'll see that somebody shoots me from the left, and I'm not really too worried about it because this IS-2, this guy right here in the Tiger P, he's pretty much the only thing that's going to keep me from getting killed, so I need to help him and save him. And I can see that there's a the Panzer 5.4 over there. He really can't pin me unless he uses premium rounds, so and even if he does pin me, he's only going to do about 100, so I'm not really too worried about him. Now I see the T29 over there too, and I'm going to go ahead and aim for the bottom plate so I can get max damage. And this is the accuracy. Now you're going to see me do something weird here, and it's this guy's at half health, the Tiger P, and you'll see that I took both those shots to try and save him, and I don't know what this guy is doing, and you'll see him here, he just kind of goes out there and he gives the guy the weakest part of his tank and dies for it, and after I tried to save him, which I thought was kind of funny, but it's okay. I have 1,000 hit points left, which means I got about 4 shots I can take from him. Now that's only if he doesn't do max damage. Now you're going to see here, I probably could have, if it was in the past, I would have actually angled a little bit more my nose towards him. But I've been playing the KV4, so I'm getting a little lazy, and I'm giving more of my side than I probably should have. And you'll see here, so he's getting max damage, but I know he's got a reload, so I'm just going to do a quick snapshot on him to finish him off, and that's a wraps on the game. But it kind of shows everything. You know, you can go head to head with other heavies. Although people say, you know, that whenever they use it, they get wasted, you do have to angle your armor. I'm going to go ahead and say that this is a really good sitting back sniping tank. It's very accurate. It's also good in urban environments. But when you have to go head to head with other tanks, you really want to be careful and make sure that you have escape routes and that you can use buildings or hills, and you don't want to just be sitting out there, or you're just going to get wasted. But anyway, going to go ahead and screenshot this. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Comment, like, and subscribe, and have a good one. Later.